Night Vision. Following clues left by our ancestors, we unbury the past to reveal a knowledge of unfathomable value, putting us just a little closer to our own true birthrights. From the secret history of a possible bloodline of Jesus Christ, the secret history of America's founders, to the secret history of extraterrestrial interaction on our planet, here to bring light to the night. Your host for Night Vision Radio, Renee Barnett.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Night Vision, or if this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope we'll see you again very, very soon. We have a great show planned for tonight. I was talking to my good friend Ken DeCosta recently about an investigation that he and his group did at the Shanley Hotel, and not the Stanley, but the Shanley, and they got some amazing results, which he's going to share with us. We got some visuals for you, and so if you're watching us, you're in for a special treat. And if you're just listening, we'll describe everything in a way that hopefully you'll feel like you were right there anyway. So we're going to get started with that in just a moment, but I wanted to take just a little bit of a timeout and thank everyone who has responded to the GoFundMe that's out there for film director, producer John Yost. You guys may know he produced and directed the film Alien Abduction Answers, which not only did he produce and direct, but he is the main character in the film because indeed it is about his life experiences and his quest to get answers. So I believe that show is airing on Amazon Prime. It's either Amazon Prime or Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I urge you to see it. It's a beautifully done film. And I'm a very harsh critic. I was just telling Ken off the air that it's gorgeous. So have a look at it. But I wanted to, again, thank everyone for responding to the GoFundMe. And he's almost at the halfway point to get to that $200,000 amount that he needs for the specific new treatments that he's getting in Arizona. He and his wife had to pack up and move to Arizona so that he could get this very special treatment. But he's been sending out updates, which he does also on the GoFundMe if you have a look. And you can see that his numbers, the bad numbers, are going down. But I wanted to share with you just one more time a little film that John's sons put together about the situation and about their dad. So hang in with us, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce my guest, and we're going to get into the Shanley Hotel.
Our dad faced a traumatic time when his father left him and his 5 siblings. He was only 9.
Since that day, he suffered from a sense of abandonment and the lack of a strong male presence, something that still affects him.
Needless to say, losing a parent in any circumstance is difficult. In the manner his father left, in addition to the troublesome home life, it caused irrevocable changes to his path.
He had to be tough and learn a lot of hard lessons. He started working at 12 years old because the family had been deserted. Landscaping, washing cars, 3 paper routes, whatever he could find. Like we said, he had a rough upbringing, but it made him the man he is today. Dad has always been determined to make his own way, not taking the easy route. He chose to take the right path.
He grew up, got educated, and worked like a madman. Then, he met Mom. So, my mom and dad, when they were doing theater together, my dad was very, very nervous about going on stage, and my mom kept asking him, "Why are you so nervous? You've done this song so many times, it's not a problem, don't worry about it, you'll be great." But he was still so nervous, don't know why. They're out on stage. My mom doesn't even really understand what's happening. And then she sees him point to his pocket, take a knee, and propose. And then the two old ladies, they started to laugh and say, "I think he's proposing." They've been married for over 30 years. They're inseparable. Then, we came into the picture. Dad had made a very important decision. Never leave us like his father left him. He was always there. First day of school, basketball and rugby games, performances, graduations, everything. Somehow he and Mom financed private education so we could have a better life than he had.
Dad was always there to help fix and advise us as we grew up, got married, and started our lives.
It was a complete shock when we found out Dad had developed pancreatic cancer. The doctors gave him 11 months to live. A death sentence. You know, the next day Dad was working in the yard. When I asked him what he was doing, he looked me right in the eye and he said that he was going to teach us how to do this too. We felt helpless. Mom was filled with dread and grief, but Dad did what he always does. He made a decision. He and Mom prayed and looked for a different answer. They found it. A clinic in Arizona, Envita Medical Center, that had great successes with fending off cancer over the last 20 years. We had hope, and we all clung to that.
The only time that Dad ever broke down. It was so difficult to watch. This was when we realized just how expensive the treatments were going to be. It was going to bankrupt the whole family. For the first time in his life, he needed our help. He couldn't give us anything. He couldn't provide, and we as a family couldn't come up with the money to help Dad.
Even with everything that we could scrape together, we still were $200,000 short. That's when we decided to create a GoFundMe. The response has been tremendous. We were able to move Dad and Mom to Arizona, and he's started treatment. The fantastic news is that he's getting better. The problem, we haven't been able to raise the full amount. We're afraid that we can't get Dad to the finish line because of the remaining necessary funds.
We're asking you to help save our dad.
Please.
Every penny helps. Thank you.
Thank you for saving our dad's life.
Beautiful little piece there done by John Yost's Sons. And he's one of our own guys. If you have an extra $1, please send it. And if you don't, which is totally understandable, then please just send him all the good wishes and good prayers that you can for his speedy recovery. He's going to come out of this. We're going to make sure. So, all right. Without further ado, I'd like to bring on my guest today, the wonderful Ken DeCosta of Dead Air on KGRA and leader of the Rise Up Paranormal Group. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today is, Ken is a master investigator, paranormal investigator. He goes into it very thoughtfully, and I'm always amazed at the results that he gets and also at the results that he rejects, because he's not one easily fooled. So that's what I appreciate about you, Ken, or that's one of the things I should say I appreciate about you. You can kind of count on Ken.
Well, I appreciate that. I also want to pass along my best to John and his family as well, and to urge people that like you say, if you can spare a little bit, then by all means, seems like a wonderful family, a wonderful guy, and let's try to give him another shot at this right now. It's good that his numbers are going down, but anything you can do to help, I'm sure that they would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, I'm sure of that. Yeah, pancreatic cancer is the baddie. It's like the worst.
Right.
And he's really doing well with it. And it's amazing. So, I just lost my best friend last year from the same thing. And I wish I had known, or we had known about this place and could have managed to
Right.
get her there. But I guess it wasn't meant to be. But we can help John out. So let's try and do it. But now, you guys went over to the Shanley Hotel. Can you explain a little bit about where that is and what that is and when you went? I think it was a couple weeks back.
Yeah, it was a while ago. It was a few weeks back. The Shanley Hotel is in Napanoch, New York, and it is up in the beautiful Hudson Valley, in a small little town. And it's long had been rumored that this was a very active location. A lot of friends of mine had gone there and spent an awful lot of time there. About a year ago, the man who was synonymous with the Stanley, its owner, Sal Nicosia, passed away. And it's since come under new ownership. And they've always embraced their history, both, chronologically and paranormally. So we finally had a chance to go up there and spend an overnight. And it's one of those places, Renee, that a lot of times, for no real reason, sometimes places don't live up to their reputation. And it's not to say that there's not something going on there, but maybe it's just not the right night for it. Yeah. And that happens. On this particular occasion, that wasn't the case. It was a very active night, a very interesting night, and we got so much information that even the owner didn't know in terms of its history with the mob and prohibition and its past ownership and politics and some of the sordid things that happen there too, because sometimes all of these stories don't have happy endings. So we were able to bring her a little enlightenment as far as that goes, and had just a wonderful night and some great experiences there. So I'm looking forward to, showing everybody. I want to, if I could, just get a picture up here.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This is the Shanley Hotel.
Oh my
in Napanoch. In the lobby, they have some photos taken in, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and there were some very, very prominent figures. It was a former bordello at one point. Through multiple ownerships, actually. And there was, some mob-related things going on there. So it has a very colorful history. And just a shot of the second floor where it leads to the bordello. And intentionally, it still has that seedy look to it. And it's intentional, really, that the owners want to keep that sort of ambiance to it, like you're stepping back in time. And but the rooms there, absolutely phenomenal. And the fun didn't end when we went to bed. It continued on overnight. So we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. A lot of fun.
Well, you said it's an active location. Do you find that when you go to a place like that is an active location, like maybe the Conjuring House that,
right.
we've worked with together on before, do you find ever that there's any kind of an element of the area itself that would attract or allow paranormal activity? Because, of course, when you said Hudson Valley, I immediately thought of all the UFOs.
Absolutely. We had an opportunity to visit the UFO museum
Oh,
in the Hudson Valley,
well, of
and
course, you had Bill Skywalker with you. You would have had to go to the UFO museum.
we had to. So Bill was kind enough to set that up for us, and it was fascinating and a lot of fun. But we were keenly aware of where we were in terms of UFO reporting and activity as well.
Absolutely. So, do you think that there is something generally about that area that is kind of portal-like, or something like that? I mean, conditions are such that it's a ripe area for activity.
Well, if you're going to look into theory, which is a lot of times all we have, I would say it's more geological in that area with mineral deposits, things like that.
What about ley lines and things like that?
Yeah. So a lot of times with us, the investigation starts before we even go into a place. I mean, we're looking at things like where are the power lines located? What's the geological makeup of the area? What is the history? Has there been a history of conflict there? Going back to early settlers. So, I mean, we need to know who the players are. If someone says that something really weird and strange is going on here, I mean, the first thing before we document it or prove it or disprove it is you ask yourself the question, well, why? Like, what is it about this area? What is it about this building? What is it about this town? What is it about this region? So, I mean, all of those things probably play into it to some degree. But in talking to people that are more familiar with the Hudson Valley, they let us know a little bit about the geological makeup and the kind of organic earth energy sources that may be an attraction in terms of the water and all sorts of things. But it offers all of those in really one package there.
Interesting. So, when you started your investigation, was it all on the second floor, or how did you start out?
Top to bottom. The first thing we did was go into kind of like a meeting area, sort of ballroom type area, and off of that they have what they call the seance room, because apparently when they have events there, that's where it's held. So there's a round table with a few chairs around it. It's pretty much the epitome of what you would think a seance room would be. So we headed in there immediately and decided to get right to it. And we were very fortunate that some people who with the team were available that night, Cody Desby and Satori Hawes. And some of the viewers, if that name sounds familiar, because they're members of TAPS, and you will see them featured on the Ghost Hunters TV show from time to time. Satori is actually Jason Hawes' daughter, so she grew up in this. She didn't know any better. But something really remarkable happened to them about 5 years ago when, and they're a couple now. They're actually called the Paranormal Couple. They run a museum of haunted objects, curiosities, and oddities. So they found out totally by accident, when they make contact with each other, something really bizarre happens. Tapping.
Physical contact you're talking about.
Yeah. When they just kind of grab each other's wrists, or even if they lean up against each other, a tapping sound begins to start. And they had actually kept that away from me for a little while because they didn't know how I was going to react. You know, he says, well, you know, you're really objective. We weren't sure how you're going to react. So one day we were investigating a place, actually a Masonic temple.
Ooh.
And they said, do you mind if we try something? Sure, go ahead. So they joined wrists and the floor started tapping, and I'm watching their feet and I'm trying to figure out where the sound is coming from. And I literally got up and stood right over where the floor was banging. And then it moved away from me and I followed it. And then it moved away from me again and I followed it again, like in a 360-degree circle. So whatever was happening was moving. So they
What did
don't
it
really.
sound like, Ken? Did it sound like knocking on the door?
It's literally knocking on the floor because we've put cameras one floor below them. Sometimes we were able to reach the ceiling underneath them
Yeah.
and feel the vibration of the floor tapping.
That's what I was going to ask you next was, could you feel it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there is literally a vibration. It's in the physical realm that this happens. It's not
Yeah.
something ethereal. We've used geometers on the floor, which are sensitive to vibrations. And as the tapping starts, the lights start to illuminate on the geometer. So it really is, and there's a much longer story to it, and I could go on and tell you stories of things we've done with them that are just remarkable. You wouldn't believe, to the point where they were able to, in the method that they developed, and we're going to give you an example of what that is in a video clip. They have been able to say and spell out things like, Ken's thinking about me.
That's crazy.
Where I have somebody in my mind that I'm saying, well, okay, when we come back from taking a break, I want to ask about this person. And I don't tell anybody, I'm just thinking of it. And all of a sudden that person will tap out through use of the alphabet, Ken thinking about me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what's going on here? And then it spells out the name of the person that I was literally thinking about. And they don't know how this works. And,
And they just accidentally discovered that this happened, right?
totally by accident. But I'm aware of nobody in this universe, in this world, who's capable of doing these type of things. So, and the kids are great. They're very humble. They don't charge for any of this. So don't even think you can hire them to come give a reading. They don't do things like this. They just essentially, whoever they happen to run across. So we use this on investigations where we literally have conversations with people who might have lived 300 years ago and tell us things like what color the walls in the house used to be. I don't like the color they painted it now. My bed used to be in that corner. And then ask us questions like, what's that thing on the table you're using? Well, that's a recorder. And so they ask us questions about our world and we ask them questions about theirs.
So it's like
remarkable.
A conversation, basically.
It is a conversation. All things, what did you have for Christmas breakfast? Did you celebrate Christmas? What did you have for Christmas dinner? And they will tell us exactly what they used to make and their favorite desserts. And it truly is remarkable. And Bill Forte, from the program manager, had seen video clips of them do this, and he was just blown away. But when he accompanied us to the Shanley Hotel, which is only an hour from his house, he got to sit in the room, literally sit a foot away from them, while things start knocking and banging. And at one point, the son of the current owner, who had tragically passed away in a car accident last year, came through and had a message for his mother and telling us things. There's no way. We don't know these things. They don't know these
was
things.
Was she there at the time, or?
Yeah, she was there.
What was her reaction?
It was a very emotional moment for her.
I bet.
And so we immediately, every one of us in our group has had someone come through. For me, it's been my mom, my brother, my sister, people that they don't know, never met, telling things that I've never talked about. And there's nothing psychic about this, not to be confused with psychic ability, because this is something that's happening in the physical realm.
Right.
Our environment is being affected by vibration and noises and so forth, but just to see the look on Bill's face was priceless.
Oh my God, I can imagine. I can only imagine. But it seems to me like, if this occurs whenever, they come together, they touch in some way, they grasp each other's wrists, it sounds like a circuit being completed or something.
Right.
And so like, that's why it doesn't happen to each of them on their own.
Yeah.
It's like they're a conduit of some kind.
Well, the funny part about it is if I hold her hand and I hold his hand, the knocks will continue. But
it wouldn't continue if you just held her hand or his hand.
No. It has to be a continuous of
that circuit is still complete. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's amazing. I've seen them both pet a dog. And while they're petting a dog, the floor will start to.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this sounds just out of.
This brings all kinds of questions into my mind about their personal life, but I guess I won't ask those.
Those questions have been asked.
And have they figured out a way to deal with it?
Yeah. We actually have a clip tonight. Well, one of the women in our group was the first to ask that question. Go figure. It was like, so what happens when king? And of course, everybody's blushing and
laughing.
But they can control it to the point where, they can just have it stop. Need space, leave us alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we actually tonight, when we get into the clips, I'm going to show you an example of chasing someone out of the room who came through and was extremely disruptive and with a very horrible history, who apparently they've said for the longest time still resides at that particular hotel. And he was a disruption to what they were doing, whether he didn't want to be talked about or that was just the character of this particular person. And he had to be chased away. So they're able to control it in the regard where they're able to say, not now.
Wow.
Not now.
Yeah, I can understand that. I have a good friend who's a medium, and she's pretty amazing herself. And she says that she can turn it off. Because I said, "Hey, are you ever just like watching a TV show, like a true crime documentary, and you start getting, the victim starts like trying to contact you?"
Right.
And she says, no. She said, first of all, I don't watch crime shows. Second of all, I turn it off. She said, if I didn't, I would go insane. And she said, I have had it come up sometimes when I was watching the news, and like they give a report about a crime or something, and she has had something like that come through. But generally, she can say, not available right now.
Right. I think you have to learn how to do that, because you have to set those guardrails up.
Yeah, she said she couldn't always do that, and that she had to learn how to get them to quiet down so that she could have a life.
Well, when these kids do that, sometimes there'll be so much tapping on the floor. It's like the way it's been described from the other side to them is when they come into contact with each other, it's almost like a beam emits upward from them. And so many people come to gather to get their message across that it sounds like a herd of horses going across the floor, and they literally have to say one at a time, you know,
Oh my gosh.
all get a chance. And if you have not witnessed this, you'd say, nah, there's a trick. There's a trick doing something. And I trust these kids implicitly, but we have done everything. They've taken their shoes off, whatever they can do to, allay anybody's concerns about this. But I've heard them do this on grass outside where the grass literally starts thumping, or a concrete floor, or asphalt, or carpets, or wooden floors.
What would happen if they did it in water, like if they were in a pool? I wonder if it would start to bubble or.
That is one of the things that they're trying. I mean, this is something, it sounds like it's 5 years ago, but they're still working it out, trying different things. So they want to try it on a boat. But I will tell you that they got a hold of me one time flying back from an event, and when they did it on a plane, the floor of the plane started tapping.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
It's
I mean, from what, people that are able to do these things tell me, is that there are a lot of people who want to talk or want to get a message out there, and that when they see a way to do it, when they see a conduit for their message, they grab it. And it's what it sounds like what you're saying about they sort of start gathering around,
right,
all trying to get their message in there.
Well, the way we like to bring it all together sometimes, it's different. They'll do it on their own time if we're doing an investigation, or sometimes we'll come right out the gate. Like, let's just cut to the chase. Who is here? Let's get their name. What do you want? Do you mean anybody any harm? And they'll do things like, can you tell us the day you died? And they'll give us the month, day, and year. And we'll go to obituaries on our phone, away from them. And it's just, there it is. There it is.
Now, if you ask them, do you mean anyone any harm? If they did, would they tell you, do you think? Do they have to tell you? Does it,
I don't see why not, but there is always that possibility that secrets are hidden on the other side as well. Because what I've come to learn from working with them is it is basically a neighborhood on the other side. We've talked to spirits who complain about kids on the other side making all sorts of racket. That's running around, and it's just kind of like, really? So it's like just another dimension similar to our own, but things like time, and they don't really matter over there. It's just a different place. But some of the questions, the obvious questions they've asked are like, is there a heaven? And they won't get an answer back. And this will be someone they had a long conversation with. And it's just my mother, when I was able to speak to her through them, I said, you remember you always told me stop chasing ghosts around, when I was a kid? And she just spelled out the words, it's different here.
Oh.
So we'll find out,
We will find out. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because aside from, just finding out interesting history and seeing this amazing activity, to me, it's helpful to always, be able to find out that, we don't just disappear completely, that there is something else.
Absolutely.
And we're just on a stop along the way here.
Well, I look at it this way. People will say, I invented this new thing, and God bless you, that lights up and it has buzzers and all the rest of this. And I usually counter, like, I have two young people who make knocks on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going back to the spiritualist age.
Exactly. To the basics.
I mean, with all this technology we have You know, it's just so organic. So what I would love to play a clip if I could, and just give
Please take
everybody
the reins and do it. Take the
right.
reins. And
Let's give everybody who's watching this some kind of because they're probably saying, play the damn clip already.
exactly.
So it's under 2 minutes long. So I picked some shorties here, and then when we come back, Renee, you can ask questions or we'll touch on this. But this is essentially the method they use, and on this clip you'll see Bill Forte sitting in the foreground, just like looking around, and pretty amazing. So here's the clip.
Is Adam his real name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Can you give me a last name? Do they know? Yeah? Okay. Oh, you want me to spell? Oh,
It's that thing again.
it's that thing. Go. Go.
Adam on the 3rd floor.
Go. Thank you.
I don't know.
No, he was just here. The shadow thing you were talking about was just it.
No, but
Can you give us
Something
any
else.
information about who that is? I'll keep pushing them out. I just want to know. Is there anything you can tell us?
Peter,
Or whoever.
Go ahead, just ask.
is Adam in the room in the hallway on the 3rd floor? Is Adam in the room with the soccer ball?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. A, B, C,
That's the
D,
floor.
E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R,
Floor.
S, T, U, V. Moves around.
Moves around.
Okay.
Peter?
I think they just ran away.
All right, let's break for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And that's how it works. Once for yes, twice for no, 3 times for I don't know, and then they'll run through the alphabet, which I'm sure can get tedious after a while. But when they arrive at the letter, you'll get a tap on the floor, and somebody's always with a pen and pad, just like writing down the letters, and then you get the message. But the thing is, what you saw was Bill being able to ask a question.
Yes.
So anyone in the room can ask a question if they have contact with each other, and that question will be answered. In this particular case, previously in another room, there was a disruptive amount of taps while they were communicating with someone else.
Yes.
So they had to ask that person to leave because they were being obnoxious. They were interfering with things. And what we discovered was one of the spirits that was said to reside there, and we were able to prove it, was a man who had murdered the 4-year-old daughter of a preacher.
Jeez.
And when this crime took place, he was staying at the Shanley Hotel. There was also a mob hitman who also was sharing that space. The mob hitman we had a really conciliatory conversation with, where we tried to respect him. It's like, hey, we're not here to judge. What happened, happened. But this particular individual seemed to be a little more overt and aggressive. So you can see that Satori at one point was just, go, get out of here. And then eventually he trailed off, and we were able to continue the session.
That's, I mean, everything you say just leads me down another rabbit hole of questions, like when the mobster, you talk to the mobster, what kind of things was he talking about?
Well, that was a long clip, and I had gone into the room with Bill, and we had a device that we used, which I love, called a tripwire. And what the tripwire does is sort of like a proximity sensor, but when we walk by it, we can't trigger it. But
Yeah.
if a spirit does, in theory, it lights up. And we saw that in action, that it actually worked. Conversation we had with the mob hitman was essentially, do you just want to be left alone? And we felt as though he just wanted to, like, he was tired of his name being brought up, you know, because it was always a negative thing, which was probably deserved. I mean, you know, it was a self-inflicted wound. But back in, you know, those days, and even now, it was considered business, nothing personal.
Yeah.
A contract was put on someone. So we had a very long conversation with him, Bill, myself, and another person filming it. I mean, we literally have dozens and dozens of hours of this kind of stuff going on. So we were able to communicate through different things that we had in the room. We weren't using the kids at the time. So we seemed to make our peace with him. And then Bill came in the room and said, hey, Joe, did you ever whack anybody when you were here? And I just looked at Bill like, you know, really? You know, I'm like opening up to this guy. Well, Bill he came late to the party. So he wasn't sure what question to ask. And then he was like, I meant no disrespect.
Oh, that's.
But this is, I guess, what there are aggressive spirits who have kept that personality in the afterlife.
Yeah.
You know, they're hostile, they're aggressive, they're not necessarily demonic, which is what people jump through, but they kept those personality traits, you know, aggression, hostility, maybe a mental illness, and they are considered by the other spirits who inhabited a place as someone that we don't bother with. You know, we don't think highly of them either. It's remarkable. I mean, it really is. But we glean this through all these type of conversations like I just showed you there.
Gosh. And so what else did you manage to find out? Did you get any images? Did you get any EVPs?
Plenty of those things, but a lot of what we picked up, we were able to film because the camera has a shotgun microphone as well. So a lot of the things that we recorded are also recorded on the camera microphone. It's not necessarily leaving recorders around, although we do. But there were some things that we did come up with, someone asking for our help. But on this particular night, it was mostly visual things that we managed to pick up, which in some instances I think are more valuable than just simply, you know, a recording that could be anything. You know? There is, and this was a live event that we actually did on KGRA during the Dead Air Show. From 8 to 10. And if you will indulge me before we get out of here,
please.
We managed to have a conversation with a caretaker that lived there. And his story was they eventually moved away because his 3-year-old daughter had fallen down a well and drowned. Like I said, some of these stories don't have happy endings. The happy ending is the child was in the room at the time we were talking to her father, and everyone is together now. The entire family's together, which in the end, it was a horrible thing in life. But now where they are, everybody's together. And at one point, there were a bunch of kids who ran into the room making all those sounds. And Tori had to ask them, kids, sit on the couch. And immediately the sound stopped. It was hysterical.
Oh, that's funny.
She put on her teacher's voice. But the next one, Renee, is a clip from the live broadcast that was seen right here on KGRA, and you can find this on Dead Air, and you can watch the entire investigation from start to finish. But here's another example.
Hi, have we talked to you before? Okay, you know how this works though. Okay. So what do you want to ask? How many people are in this room that are spirits?
somebody walking around. Too.
Yeah. So it's like 2, and then somebody's running around.
Can we have the first person's name, please? Or was this area important to you? Do you have something to do with this area?
Okay. Sorry, my hair's in my face. Can I ask for your first name? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. I was trying to see if it was a name on the door. P, E, T, A, B, C, D, E.
Peter? Hi, Peter.
Can I get a last name, Peter? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Gregor?
Hi, Peter. Peter, I was just reading about you today. Can I ask a question, Peter?
There's somebody running around.
Can we just talk to Peter
Like
for right now?
All the kids sit on the couch.
Oh, look at John.
Yeah, that's. All the kids sit on the couch. Now, you saw me at one point, I was in the chair and I went,
Yeah.
because I was reading about Peter Gregor and I never told, when I get this information, just like you would a psychic, I don't tell them anything.
Yeah. Yes.
So here comes Peter Gregor, the former caretaker. And that's a short part of a much longer clip. We talked about the family and what happened, and they told us they moved away because there were just bad memories of the place, because this is, where his daughter lost his life. And then you hear all this racket on the floor in Satori. All the kids sit on the couch, and it's hysterical. It really is, but it reinforces the point that when we do what we do, we approach it like you're just talking to people.
Yeah.
You're just talking to a regular person. And they appreciate that. But it's amazing stuff.
That is really, really well. Now, how can people see this whole thing? Can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can?
They may be able to get it on the KGRA website.
Yeah.
If you're a subscriber, or you can go to Dead Air Full Spectrum on YouTube, and just under the playlist Dead Air, you can find our entire night or 2 hours of it. I think we went a little bit over.
Did you name it something like the Shanley Hotel?
What's that?
Did you name it like Shanley Hotel? Is that what they would look for?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Really. I mean, they embraced us in there, and it's like, you guys are coming back, right? You guys are coming back.
Oh, my goodness.
We would love to go back.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to go have a look at that. It's really interesting. And also, there's an article on it in the premier issue of the KGRADB newsletter, which just went out a week or so ago. And you will have received it, listeners, if you're on our mailing list or if you're a member. Mm-hmm. If you're on those and did not receive a copy, please write to me, Renee at kgradb.com, and let me know, and we'll make sure that our mailing list is updated so that you receive those. And there's another issue coming out Tuesday, just in a couple days. So just in a few days, so that you'll get the new one as well. But Ken posted a report there. I'm sure there's a lot more on his YouTube channel and website, but you can get the gist of what they did there in the KGRA newsletter as well.
You know, we've done a number of investigations: the Payne House Museum, the Oliver House, the Conjuring House, the Shanley Hotel. We have done investigations, including Cody and Satori, at all of these different places. Where
Gordon, did you do Have you been to Lizzie Borden with them yet?
No, because when it was sold,
Oh, it's been sold.
yeah, and we're not big fans of how it's being run now. It's very, very commercial now.
I was gonna say, I know.
Yeah, it just doesn't have that same vibe or attraction to us anymore. It's, I mean, not that these other places aren't businesses, but the way that's being run right now is,
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
We have visited it previously, and it's been great.
Yeah, you got some good investigations in there before that happened, so that's good.
Well, in this particular case, we found out that the owner, the guy who built it, actually, his name is Shanley. It was called the Colonial Hotel at the time, and he was arrested during Prohibition for running a speakeasy. And apparently, his wife was good friends with Eleanor Roosevelt, so he used a little bit of pull, and the Roosevelts got him out of trouble. So we had this conversation. He fessed up to it, and just awesome.
That is so funny. It's just amazing, all these little tidbits that you can gather that no one would think about, ask about. It's just like, oh my gosh. And then you go back later and dig into your research and you get total confirmation. It's like, oh my gosh, there it is.
Spot on.
What's your next big investigation?
We've got a couple of private investigations for residences that we're going to do, and we are looking into places like Wilson Castle and the Mark Twain Museum and possibly the USS Salem, which is a World War II era battleship. So we've got some things on the horizon, plus, the normal residences that people just want us to come in and try to figure out what it is.
Are you going to stream any of those? How about Mark Twain? I'd love to see that.
Right now, we're in the process of negotiating that. As long as they're comfortable.
Yes.
Because we don't force anything on anybody. Of course, we ask permission, and it's difficult because being a museum, sometimes you got to be careful with setting cameras down and all the rest of these things, and so we want to be respectful of the location. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you have a conference coming up that we were going to talk about?
We do. This is our annual charity event. And this year we've chosen the Tomorrow Fund, and this may be appropriate for the show, who helps families of children with cancer.
Oh.
They'll pay their heating bills, their utility bills, because they know it's a tremendous strain on the family. So they just do absolutely tremendous work. So 100% of the proceeds are going to go to the Tomorrow Fund here in Rhode Island. And this will be the 10th annual Ocean State Paracon, and it coincides with the 10th anniversary of the release of the film The Conjuring. So we are going
to be there?
We are holding it in Harrisville, Rhode Island, where the actual event took place. There are going to be
Andrew appearing there. You got to.
Let me put up a poster here. And
oh my gosh, there it is.
Guess who's going to be there? We have the first three are former owners of the house or residents: Andrea, Jan, Corey Heinzen, Jacqueline Nunez, the current owner. Cody and Satori are going to be there giving a presentation. Keith and Carl Johnson, who were actually the first two people to ever investigate the Conjuring house for the Warrens, came in. And then we have dead air personalities: Christopher Rondina, Ronald Murphy. They are legend hunters. Amanda Millette, who is huge on TikTok right now for her videos about the Lizzie Borden house and her investigations into that. And Tim Weisberg, who's the host of Spooky South Coast.
Yeah.
The Conjuring House and Jacqueline Nunez are sponsoring the event this year, and over the course of the weekend, not only can you come to our indoor-outdoor festival, there will be presentations in the theater, but you'll also be able to tour the Conjuring House on both days and investigate it Saturday and Sunday night. Those, as you can imagine, have both been sold out within a matter of days. So
we can't even get tickets now.
this is an incredible celebration. Twofold.
It's going to be so great.
The 10th anniversary of the event, as well as the 10th anniversary of the movie. Saturday night in the theater, we are showing The Conjuring, hosted by Andrea Perrin.
Oh, well, that just sounds like an amazing event. I had no idea. But we can't give you out the information to get tickets because there are no tickets left. So you got to do another one.
Well, you certainly can come to the event and get advance tickets, and you can do that through our website, riseupparanormal.com/paracon.htm. Or you can go to the Ocean State Paracon or Rise Up Facebook pages. Just punch it in. All the information's there.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Ken. Looks like we're at the end of our time together today, but I do hope you'll come back soon, and I really appreciate your work. And I love the fact that you're doing that conference for charity. That's heartwarming. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone.